And a new week is upon us here at Warehouse and Operations as a Career. We appreciate you listening in today and hope you're having a productive and prosperous one. We had a great time last week visiting with so many individuals at the job fair. It was great being able to speak with everyone out in the field, and we hope you enjoyed the show. We had a lot of fun with it. We're going to try and get out and go mobile more often and talk to others, people really performing the tasks that you're interested in. The topic of job seeking on social media came up a couple of times this month. Maybe with us speaking about resumes and interviewing, it's been pushed to the forefront of our minds. So I thought we'd look into that segment of the recruiting and sourcing, or how the different agencies are using social media to get the word out there on positions and job opportunities they're working on filling. And maybe we can discuss a few of our responsibilities as job seekers and applicants, what we should be doing or need to be doing to get that interview and be placed in one of those positions. Here in a bit, we'll be visiting with an administrator of just one such group and get their thoughts on what they are and how to use them to our advantage. For today's topics, let's start with the job boards. Maybe that's not really social media, I guess, but it is an online platform and there's many of them, so I'm going to assume they're each worth our time and maybe a little bit of our energy. Companies can utilize job boards as a form of advertising, posting the positions that they're needing to fill. There's several that are free for the company to use, but I find typically the positions are presented to a small market, maybe like a local market, and usually only hits or produces off of one or two keywords. To really reach us, or us, the prospective employees, a company may subscribe to a service or purchase X number of resumes or hits for them to review. I mentioned keywords a bit ago. Keywords could be something like sanitation, warehouse, order selector, loaders, things like that. Words we may key in when we're looking for employment or positions, what we're good at or qualified to do. We used to look at the classified section of the newspaper to look for our employment and companies that are hiring. A tedious process carrying around a section of the paper every day. Job boards seem to be the primary classifieds now as far as employment offerings go. They're really easy to navigate and search by position and keywords. We can look at just the things that we're interested in. They make it easy for companies to search for candidates as well, keying in the same words of sanitation, order selector, loader, etc. They can see resumes from just those of us that possess those skills and are seeking those positions. Most all the larger ones, and there's some huge ones out there with millions of hits a day, are free to us job seekers. The employer pays to post or advertise their open positions. As we've spoke before, there could be a lot of candidates replying to the position we're interested in, and it's of the utmost importance that our reply, our resume, and our work history is presented in such a way that it's going to get noticed, and we're going to get that phone interview. I read an article from our Twitter feed last month where it stated that if we've spent less than a day writing our resume, rereading it and making changes, then we haven't put in the time needed to catch HR's attention. I'm not certain about all that, but as we've discussed before, I do feel it's important we present or sell our experiences and accomplishments and use as many key words as is relevant to the jobs what we've done before and the positions that we're after. If you missed our episode entitled The Resume, Episode 5, I think it was, go check it out. I think we covered a few different types or formats and walked through using keywords to grab our hiring agent's attention. Social media, while researching for this episode, I learned that many people may consider the internet itself a form of social media now. I noticed advertisements, true advertising about employment and banners and side platforms, even when we're looking up subjects and such. And with all the targeted advertising out there, we can have those types of ads thrown at us just by visiting a job board or doing a keyword search such as employment. I had a question last week while at the job fair. I guess we could talk about that for a minute or two. I was asked what I thought of using groups in social media to research companies we may be interested in. I'm actually a member of or have joined about a dozen different groups, really just to see what's happening with employment across the nation. Many cities or communities have their own, usually created by someone just interested in helping others find employment. I personally think they're great and a very useful platform for us. What I do see a lot of is agencies or recruiters posting the same positions throughout the different groups or the different communities, so we'll see the same posting in several different groups. And the number of members may be an indicator of quality of content, or maybe not, I guess, since we see them listed in so many different groups. I joined one that says to have 56,000 members, one that states 26,000, one that shows 3,000, and a few more that range from like 187 members to about 1,000. As I said, I usually see postings by the same agencies and recruiters, so I think it just matters that we're looking at a few or at least one of them. Agencies and recruiters probably join so many due to the fact they need help and want to get their needs and their offers out there to as many of us as possible. Again, this is why it's so important that our resume and work history is short, yet specific enough to get us noticed when it's being read. Oh, and using keywords that are that's going to appeal to them as it relates to the job posting or the offer. Now, how do we reply to those posts, or how we should not reply to those posts may be the more pertinent question. First, I think we have to remember this is a job posting. Usually we'll see the position or what the job is, like warehouseman. The work week will be listed, and shift hours could be on there, and the pay is typically in there somewhere. We'll usually be given an address and maybe the specific times to apply, or a phone number could be listed for us to call for more information. We want to be remembered here, so our reply needs to be constructive and really to the point. I've seen many times a reply sent as interested. That may not get us an interview or even someone reaching out to us. Another one is PM me specifics. I'm thinking the recruiter could think they have already shared the specifics with us. I'm told the best replies, at least in a recruiter's eyes, are more like, I have 3 years experience and will come in and apply tomorrow. Or something like, thanks, and maybe even put in the recruiter's name here. I will call this afternoon and ask for you. I think questions are fine as well. It may just be important to keep them, specific to the posting. Something like, is this position background friendly? I have 5 years experience. Something like that would be perfectly fine. Or maybe something like, I have experience. Is this company on a bus line? Again, that is to the point, and it's a question that can be answered. Something like background checked and then a question mark. That's probably just going to be passed over. And I've seen one where someone just wrote, 2 words, drug test. We may not have anyone reach out to us. Our goal is to get our information to them, for them to remember us, and for us to get that meeting with them. In my experience, we need to remember these people could be our next employer. They're not our close friends. They're not really even acquaintances. We need to do something to get them to reach out to us and want to know more about what we can do. They're needing the help. They're needing an employee, and this may very well be our chance to get selected, at least have a positive thought with them. And it's been suggested to me that we try and be brief in our comments and not necessarily try and carry on a conversation. Write enough to be noticed and then follow their directions as to where to go and when, or where to call and whom to ask for. I'd write something or leave a comment, though, and let them know we're coming by or giving them a call. I think it only shows that we're very interested and that their search is over. They found the employee that they need. Well, we have John on the phone with us today to share a few thoughts with us, maybe give us some pointers as to job boards and social media groups. John's visited with us a few times before, spoken with us regarding staffing agencies, how they work, and how we can work better with recruiters, and has attended both of our WAOC roundtable discussions. John is the North American VP of Operations for a large sourcing solutions company, and he's the admin for a job board group on social media, and has just started an open discussion group for warehouse workers also. John, welcome back to WAOC, sir. I hope I got all those accomplishments correct.
Thank you very much for having me, Marty. It's always great to be back.
Fantastic. So, you and your teams probably look through 100 different resumes from several different job boards every day. Are any of them written differently or maybe better than others? What makes one stick out over the other? Everything being equal experience-wise, is there something we can do where you'll call us first over the other one? Kind of a long question, isn't it?
Well, it's a great question, Marty. You have to understand that many companies are utilizing software to sift through so many resumes. Like you mentioned earlier, a recruiter might be looking for anywhere between 1 and 30 job types that they're currently sourcing for. And it's the small difference in the resumes that do make you stand out. First of all, know your position you're applying for. If it's an order selector position and you have experience as an order selector, great. Take the time to craft your resume to fit the position. If you do not have any experience as an order selector, you may want to make sure that you use the words order selector several times throughout your resume so that the filters or the bots will capture your resume as one that matches what the recruiter is searching for. If you have only performed sanitation duties for the past 2 years, for example, maybe put that you have worked around order selectors for 2 years and you've seen them palletize product and have become familiar with their stacking patterns. Maybe say that you've worked in a productivity-driven environment and you understand that every movement counts in order to work efficiently. Things like that are going to convey to the recruiter that you understand the position they are hiring for, and they will probably reach out to you.
Well, those are great comments and really good pointers. Again, we're keeping it short, we're being specific, and we're sharing as much information about ourselves as we can. I know you run a social media group of your own and participate really in several others. Could you share with us why you started yours and what you think of groups?
Absolutely, Marty. I started my group really for 2 reasons. The first reason is that I wanted to create a centralized location where people could easily join and have immediate access to job openings should they be interested. The second is to kind of collect members who are like-minded in our industry and develop and expand my professional network. I have met many people through my group that have been influential in my career and have connected me with contacts that I would not have otherwise been introduced to. I really feel like I'm helping people and their families by making information on opportunities available to them on a quick and efficient platform. As you mentioned, Marty, it's great to join several groups, and when opportunities present themselves, they can just show up in your newsfeed and you can click on them if you want to. And if not, hey, at least you know where to go should you happen to be looking for a possible career change. With technology nowadays, it's getting let's just say it's getting easier to find a job if you do many of the things that we're discussing tonight.
I notice on, especially on the social media, some of those sites, I'm really amazed how some of the, I guess you would say, candidates that are replying, I notice they talk amongst each other too. They're talking about different positions, different companies, and kind of encouraging, each other along the way. Do you have any opinions or suggestions for us as we're job hunting as it relates to job boards and social media?
Oh, yes. First of all, make your profile presentable. First, set your profile to private so that recruiters will not see your personal life and maybe that forgettable weekend you had in New Orleans last month. Second, make your profile picture a nice headshot, sometime when you're all dressed up. You'll probably want to remove anything that you would think twice about if your mother happened to be looking over your shoulder at your profile. If your address is bigbrad420@hotmail.com, you might want to get a new address that, isn't so revealing. Engage professionally with your recruiters. This also means using full words and not abbreviated texting speak, let's call it. That kind of communication is very much frowned upon by professional employers because they want to know that you are an intelligent person that will truly take the time to do things right the first time.
Oh, that's very well said. And yeah, I've had several recruiters, mention the texting words, and as well as some of the emails that people turn in. Well, John, thanks for speaking with us today. You helped clarify a few of my concerns, and I'm sure several of our group's questions were answered today also. How about visiting with us again one day? Maybe give us a follow-up interview after we've tried some of these suggestions.
Oh, absolutely, Marty. You can always count on me, and I really appreciate your time here tonight.
Well, we appreciate every one of your visits. Social media and job boards are so powerful and useful to us as job seekers today. I hope WAOC sparked a few thoughts and maybe answered a couple of questions you had on how to get noticed by the person posting the position and how to be that chosen candidate. Until next week, we here at WAOC wish you the best of luck in your endeavors, and we'd like to remind us all that safety at home and the workplace begins with each of us.